Happy World Wetlands Day! I'm Camilla Sherman and I'm the Assistant Education Director here at Phinizy Swamp Nature Park in Augusta, Georgia. So when people think of the word swamp, they tend to have negative connotations with that word. They think of something gross and smelly. But in reality, swamps and other wetlands are actually extremely important ecosystems that we need to be protecting. Now, some of the values of wetlands include that wetlands are actually really good at protecting surrounding areas from storms. So if you have a big storm come through, wetlands are going to act as a natural sponge. So what they do is they will actually absorb all of that extra rainwater that is coming through the system, and they will hold onto it and release it slowly. Instead of the water all coming down at once and flooding the area, the wetlands will protect the areas from floods. Additionally, wetlands are actually a natural filter. So wetlands are full of healthy soils and plants, and as the water comes into the wetlands, it's going to slow down the flow of the water, and all of the extra silt and debris that's in the water is going to settle out to the bottom. And we have the soil itself filtering and neutralizing toxic substances, and the plants are homes to good bacteria in the roots in the water. And those bacteria are going to be removing any extra nutrients that we don't want in the water. And those roots are actually going to help mix the water with the air and add oxygen into the water. Additionally, wetlands are extremely important habitat for all different types of plants and animals. They also act as a resting place for migratory birds that need a break from their exhausting journey, and they're full of nutrient-rich food for all of those animals that are living there. And even humans use wetlands for food. So we have different agricultural things that we grow in wetlands, like cranberries and rice. Lastly, wetlands actually act as a great place for people to come and relax because they are such beautiful landscapes. So it is not only good for your physical health to get outside in nature, but it is actually really good for your mental health as well. And you can do all different types of recreation in wetlands. The United States of America used to have over 400 million acres of wetlands. But today, we have less than 200 million acres and shrinking. So this loss of more than half of our wetlands in the country has actually had a lot of negative consequences. We're in a unique wetland here at Phinizy Swamp because we are part of the Phinizy Swamp Wetland Complex, which is 7,000 acres, but Phinizy Swamp Nature Park is 1,100 acres, and we're a park that's open to the public. So back in the 90s, the county decided that they wanted to put some man-made wetlands in to mimic the process that wetlands do to clean up the water. So what happened is we put man-made wetland cells into this area and connected it to the wastewater treatment plant. So what happens is the water gets cleaned up at the wastewater plant, and before it goes into the creek, which goes to the river, it flows through these man-made wetlands, and the wetlands are able to naturally remove any extra nutrients that are still in the water so that we don't end up with these algae blooms in the creek and the river. And so in order to create these man-made wetlands, they had to remove some natural wetlands. And in order to lessen the impact of the loss of these wetlands, they created Phinizy Swamp Nature Park, and specifically our education department. And so what we do is that we teach people about why it is so important to protect wetlands. Our education department, we actually do field trips throughout the whole year where we have local school kids come out to the park, and we provide hands-on educational opportunities for them to get up close and personal with the wetlands and understand what's so special about them, why they matter, and hopefully this next generation will grow up to feel connected to the wetland in their backyard and want to protect it. If you ever find yourself in Augusta, Georgia, I hope you will come out to Phinizy Swamp Nature Park and explore to make your own connection with this vital ecosystem.